Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a reading for the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. Water signs, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, the information regarding that can be found in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Water signs. Today is going to be a career reading. So I'm going to get an overall energy with the Elemental Oracle. It's an oracle deck that I use a lot, but I just love it so much. And your tarot reading with the Radiant Wilds Tarot. So let's get this overall energy for the water signs and their career reading. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for their... Okay. Well, this is very promising, and I'm very happy as a water sign. It's the number 19, which corresponds to the Sun card in the Major Arcana. It's just bringing a smile to my face because what an incredible energy. The Sun card is one of the most positive, if not the most positive card in the tarot deck. It represents illumination, clarity, abundance, joy. And this card says plants at the bottom, and the word above it is growth. Fantastic, water signs. I feel as though it's just, it's almost like this is your time. This is your time. It's almost like you're wearing this crown. If you've been carrying a heavy load, it's like Spirit is recognizing that and almost crowning you, not with the heavy load, but with the acknowledgement of your accomplishments, that something is coming in for you that seems mystical and otherworldly, magical, that all of the effort that you have made in the past is finally coming to something that is just really highlighting your gifts. I see this as really highlighting the crown chakra, highlighting your gifts. All of this kind of magical fairy orb energy just circling around your headspace. It's almost like if you think of like royalty and the crowns that they wear, they all have jewels, usually made of gold. But it's like I see Spirit kind of giving you this crown or this halo, but instead of jewels, it's like orbs of light. Like a halo. And now I'm seeing it's kind of like King Arthur's court, or a court where a royal court where they have the sword and they tap each shoulder. I dub the water signs, you know, royalty almost. I just see this tapping on the shoulders. And this is just maybe your spirit guides just tapping you, saying good job, good job. It's really, really beautiful, but there's something coming of it, right? That it's not, this is not the end, that it's merely the beginning. So I'm going to get 3 cards. This is in terms of your career, and career can encompass a lot of things for me. It's not just like the place that you get paid, although it could be, but it's more about your, you know, kind of how you spend the majority of your time, where you invest a lot of time in projects. So it doesn't necessarily have to be your job, although it could be, but it's the thing, it's your purpose, it's the place where you invest a lot of energy, right? So, and maybe that place is not your place of purpose, maybe it is simply a job. So we shall see in this reading, but starting off on the right foot as far as I'm concerned. So the first card I'm going to pull is challenges. The second card I'll pull is your successes. And the third will be advice from Spirit. So for the water signs, please? Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for the water signs regarding their career? Okay, so several cards just slid off and none of them came in the upright, so I'm going to shuffle again. Thank you. Challenges, successes, and advice from Spirit. Wow, really beautiful. Okay, so interesting. Two of Cups. Immediately, for someone out there, it's almost as if you're saying, my career is fine, I'm handling it, and I'm thriving, and I'm amazing. But the problem is this connection to my higher self. The Two of Cups can talk about divine partnership. So it could, you know, there's relationship aspects featured here. So we could be talking about challenges with certain coworkers, certain partnerships within teams that you could be finding a disconnect from. But it also represents the connection between you and your higher aspect, like you and your soul space. That would suggest to me that whatever it is that you're doing for your occupation proper might not actually be the thing that speaks to your heart space, and that you are really trying to kind of connect back to what it is that you feel in your solar plexus and in your heart that you must do this. It's almost how you know, I was talking with a friend about it last night, because she's also a water sign. She's still on the path to discovering her purpose, that in a lot of the jobs she's had, it was to make money, of course. We need to have money to sustain ourselves in modern society, but nothing really spoke to her purpose. And so she's on track, and she said, you know, she asked me, how is it that I found that purpose? And of course everybody's answer is going to be different, but reading tarot and delivering and channeling messages happens to be my purpose, but I've used that purpose in my work context as well. So my day job, I find a way to marry what I do in my day job and combine it with channeling messages and serving others in that way. So I think these are the kinds of questions, very higher level questions that you're asking yourself. So we're not just talking about the day job aspect. How can I advance my career? Because I almost feel as if that part you have under control, that part you have going for you. It's more about wanting to bring a piece of yourself into the everyday, wanting to bring a piece of your heart to the surface, and in that way serve humanity. And that's what you're trying to figure out, because, you know, time is an illusion, and yet we are kind of finite as human beings. So while you may want to work for some kind of kitten rescue or like feed the homeless or something, those are wonderful things, but when we have to work 40, 50, 60, 80 hours a week, depending on what you do, we aren't always afforded that ability to have extra time. And so I feel as though you're consulting with your higher self to say, okay, how much longer can I sustain what I'm doing right now? And am I thriving, or am I simply sustaining? What is going to cause me to thrive and feel fulfilled? I'm going to get a clarifier on it, because it is in the upright, and so it feels forward thinking. It's like you're doing the hard work of getting in touch with yourself. And a lot of people don't. A lot of people just coast and they just do what they're told, do what their parents expect them to do. And I'm not knocking that, but like there's a level of suppression is the word that Spirit just wanted me to use. Suppression of what you want in your heart because you're deferring to other people and like societal expectations of what you should be doing with your life. The cards are very erratic right now. Like 10 will fall out at the same time, which is I don't want to say the word well, Spirit just gave me the word volatile. So maybe this is an issue, the head over heart dilemma. And maybe this has been an issue in your partnership with your spouse or your significant other or your family, you know, but mom, dad, husband, wife, partner, I want to work for the kitten rescue. Two of Wands. This double 2. So you might see 2 that may be important to you. 2 of Wands is truly kind of a fork in the road, trying to determine, should we stay the course or should we go off the beaten path and forge a new avenue of experience. And it's so fascinating too because this 2 of Wands features Saturn. And as a planetary body or a symbol, Saturn is the planet of restriction. There's that word again, suppression. That's a very intense word, isn't it? Like, to suppress something. It's not just about kind of tamping it down, but it's almost like stifling the air. That's what they call, like, I don't know, suppression systems in buildings. Suppression. I don't know why this is. Maybe you're like a building engineer, or you have something to do with that. Maybe you're an architect and you work with buildings or something. I don't know why that word keeps coming, but the planet of restriction. And so there could be this sense that it's like anything that's worth it in life is hard won. And that could be the thinking that you've been taught, like, essentially, if it's not difficult, it's not worth doing. Which is the complete opposite of kind of the law of attraction and manifestation. It should not be difficult. It should just be the belief that you deserve it and it shall be so. And you take steps towards your goals and they take 100 steps towards you because you're focused, and little by little by little, you're going to get to your goal. So, as somebody once said to me, you go to school long enough, you come out with a degree. This is true. You know, you go to school long enough, you keep working at it, and eventually you come out. And maybe it takes you 3 years, maybe it takes you 10. But you keep at it, and something's going to happen. Something's going to be the result of it. So there could be this this belief system, this narrative that you've told yourself that while I may want to do something that speaks to my heart space, and by the way, things that speak to your heart space can totally pay you. Those two do not have to be disconnected from one another. So just putting that out there. There may be the narrative, though, that I have to be nose to the grindstone every hour of the day to make something of myself, right? So that could be I mean, this is the challenge position. So I'm treating it as the challenge. What is your successes? 8 of Wands. There's no lack of energy on your part towards what it is that you're working towards. You're going full force. 8 of Wands is fast action, fast communication. The 8s are all about like life path. So, you know, it's like, you know, and the sun featuring in the background, which, you know, feels like a reference to the number 19, Major Arcana. But the 8 of Wands is just like all thrusters firing. You know, here we're creating a lot of balance, or we're working hard on that balance. But, you know, I'm just thinking about it physically, right? To be able to be in this position, which I will never be able to do. I could if I worked on it, but I'm not working on it. It requires a lot of core strength. And when I think of the core, I think of the solar plexus, like working on our center of gravity. Spirit wanted me to say. So you have a strong center of gravity, and it's that center of gravity that allows you to catapult yourself forward. So whatever it is that you're doing as a career, you're not like going halfway through, or I'm trying not to curse, but you're not phoning it in. That's what I'll say. You're not phoning it in. You even if it's a job that you're not a fan of, it's not like you, water sign, to not invest yourself into it. Interesting though, I just got this image, or this concept, that not everybody is going to feel that your methodology is the most efficient. So it's like, let's say we're trying to traverse this desert landscape. We're just trying to get somewhere. You might think that this is kind of a nice display of your talent, but walking on your hands is not necessarily the most efficient way to get from point A to point B. And so it's almost as if your methodology, how you approach your work, might be something that some people might take issue with. But Spirit is showing me that this is your success. By and large, majority of people appreciate your unique kind of flair, is what I wanted to say. Let's get a clarifier on the 8 of Wands. 4 of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, like opening up to the possibility, like for all the things that we've carried for so long, 4 of Pentacles, and to hold on to things very tightly. It's almost as if you're at this point now where you're really conscious of what you want to release, that so you can kind of travel light, so you can move faster. It's kind of like, okay, so I'm getting a lot of phrases like cutting out the middleman, and in the United States, it's like an HOV lane in traffic, high occupancy vehicle. It's like on the highways in America, they have HOV lanes, which is if you have more than two or more people in the car, you can go in the HOV lane because it's almost like you're carpooling. So you can go they're allowing you to go faster. So because you're being more efficient with how you're transporting people, they allow you to go in the special lane. And if you do not have people more than yourself in the car, you can get a ticket and a fine and all this stuff. So I don't know why that's coming into my brain right now, but it's almost as if you are wanting to travel a little bit faster, right? The 8 of Wands is all about speed, which is why this makes it ironic, because like how fast are we really going? So you could be interpreting it as you just making massive strides, where I'm just picking up on this energy where like somebody else might be seeing that as some kind of hindrance. I don't feel as though you're bothered by it. It's almost like, yeah, I'm just letting go of the judgment and things that I've held on to that I just don't need anymore. So, advice from Spirit. This is beautiful. King of Swords, Gemini energy. King of Swords is all about, well, this, I know it's not, it's a big cat, but I heard the phrase top dog. Like, this is like a lioness. So it's just kind of like it's like you're on top of the mountain. You're the expert. King of Swords is very, very discerning, strategic. Not so, you know, water signs don't tend towards King of Swords very often, because it can be like a cold energy. But Spirit is saying, is providing you with this kind of insight into how you can get to the next step, because we're always learning, we're always growing, and in terms of a career, you know, we don't necessarily, we want to keep things interesting, even if you're not trying to be like the CEO of a company or whatever. It's, you know, and we feel comfortable with things, but I feel as if you're watching a career reading, you're not as comfortable as you would like to be, that there's some part of you that wishes and desires for more. So Spirit is saying, if you embody the King of Swords energy, you can up-level yourself. And what does that involve? King of Swords is an authority figure. They're an authority in their field. So there's a lot of learning. There's a lot of reading and writing and listening, observing. There's a lot of practical application and consultation is what I just heard. So when you're in this energy, it's almost like, to be in this energy, you would really have to know your stuff. That's first of all. And maybe you're in a position where you can train people. And when we train people, we then become the expert in their eyes. And so it kind of gathers up respect. And Spirit is kind of saying, even if this involves a life passion, like you're trying, you know, we see here that we're still contemplating like our heart space. Just because you're doing that doesn't mean you shouldn't still invest some time being very thorough about how you approach it, right? So I mean, when I started reading tarot, I didn't just, I had to study it, right? I watched all of my tarot teachers, but I also read a lot of books, and I practiced with friends, and I meditated, and I started to, you know, do Reiki and just read and absorb information, and then consult my higher self through practices of meditation. So it's not just like one day I just flipped down cards and I'm just like, oh, blah, 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 here's what it means. It's just like, no, there was there was a process, and that process has been over the past, you know, 4.5 years of my life, where I'm like literally eat, sleep, breathe this practice, because I know it's my purpose, because I just love it so much. And so I want to learn more and more and more and more, so that when I speak with an authority. Whether or not you believe me is one thing, but the way that I speak about it, I feel very sure, because I know what investment. So and I'm doing something, this is very off the beaten path in terms of what society, I mean, maybe not now because everybody's on social media, but I'm Gen X, so this seems like totally wacky. But even in that, even in something in the esoteric arts, there's so many learned people who study the ancient texts, you know, who immerse themselves in the practice. And that's just an example. I just want to give you that example to show that, you know, even if you are looking to switch careers into something that is a little less regimented, you still can invest your mind into the study of it and the execution of it. And that's what the King of Swords is all about. I'm just going to pull one more card on that. Thank you, Spirit. Tower in reverse. So Tower is major arcana representing Scorpio and Aries energy. Scorpio, you showed up in your own reading. The card is in reverse though. Towers usually talk about a lot of change. And so, it's almost like Spirit saying, just because, you know, water sign might be privileging their divine masculine air element side to themselves doesn't mean that you're changing your personality. That was very clear to me. Like, it's not changing who you are. It's just kind of capitalizing on your strengths and refinement. That's what Spirit is saying. It's not about sacrificing anything that makes you you. It's just about a process of refinement. So you don't have to worry that if you decide on changing your career path or becoming more in alignment with your life's blueprint, whatever that may be, at the heart of it, you're just expressing the finest version of you that you can be. So that's your reading, water signs. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, water signs.